Hmm. Hold on. Yes, I finally bought a Thrustmaster Hortass Warthog for far too much money. It is a pretty exact replica of the real deal. It's very, very solid. The return mechanism is very, very smooth, extremely smooth. All the buttons are solid. It's worth the money, but it's horrendously expensive. All of the switches are modelled properly. You can finally work out why the China hat is called the China hat. There's a lot more switches broken out that correspond to stuff inside the cockpit. I'm still having trouble coming to terms with spending that amount of money. In other news, I've got my MFCDs set up on my second monitor, so I can see stuff in more detail, which is surprisingly handy. The buttons you see around it, the OSBs as they're called, are supplied by a separate piece of software called Touch. It essentially creates just a clickable overlay that corresponds with the actual in-cockpit clickable buttons. They're just a bit easier to access. You basically just bind this clickable area of screen to a hotkey that you also bind inside the simulator. Makes things a fair bit easier. And of course my AHCP, which is also in game. I heartily recommend this joystick if you are at all serious about flight simulators. It's really nice, but it's 560 Australian dollars. It's got like a hat, and it's a 3-position switch, another 3-position switch, another 3-position momentary switch. This doesn't actually do anything. In reality, it's the friction adjustment through the throttle, but the friction adjustment on this is up here. This shows up as just a separate axis in the DirectX joystick input thingy. There's also a little hat on a little slew stick on the back there. You can use that as a mouse if you're so inclined. There's another hat. You can click this hat in. There's another hat there. Lots more hats everywhere. There is a pinky paddle here which is not on the real stick, much to the chagrin of hardcore enthusiasts, but it's very handy. Awesome.